Hi, it's Alison, Little Miss Grosser, back with another video. I've not actually been tagged in this thing to do, but two people who I subscribe to, there's Pete at Play Tendo Guy, and there's Marcus at Xfile2708, and they've both done their favourite 10 films of the 21st century so far. I thought I was going to struggle with this, but it's actually been kind of easier than I thought because I forget how old, or rather new, some films are. I've not put them in any particular order because, I love them all. So, start with the first one, which is my favourite of the trilogy, Rush Hour 3. Yes, I absolutely love the Rush Hour films, but in particular number 3, I think it's the funniest. And you get the added bonus of seeing Roman Polanski get punched, a double punch to the face at the end. So that's good fun. If you're not familiar with the Rush Hour trilogy, it's two detectives, one from Hong Kong called Lee, played by Jackie Chan, one from the States called Carter, that's it, played by Chris Tucker. And that's all you need to know going in if you haven't already seen him. So that's the first film. Second one is You're Next. Now, I've watched this film about 3 or 4 times. The first time I saw it, I must have been in a cranky mood because I didn't enjoy it at all. Then completely forgotten I'd watched it. Watched it again about 6 months after initially seeing it and thought, I remember this, but I'm enjoying it and couldn't remember enjoying it. I'd completely forgotten seeing it. So, like I said, I must have been in a cranky mood, but now I really, really enjoy it. It's a home invasion film, but with a difference, shall we say, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it for you. On to film number 3. Grindhouse. Now, I am a bit of a Tarantino head and a bit of a fan of Robert Rodriguez, so this was always going to be on the list. The two films I saw separately at the cinema, because the Weinsteins, greedy bastards, decided to split it into 2 so they could make more money. But both films back to back with the fake trailers for Machete, which actually got made into a film and had a sequel. There's Werewolf Women of the SS by Rob Zombie. Now, I am not a fan of Rob Zombie's films, but I think I would actually watch Werewolf Women of the SS. They can't make it with the cast in the trailer though, because unfortunately Udo Kier is no longer with us. There's one called Don't, which is would have been directed by Edgar Wright. And there is Thanksgiving by Eli Roth, which did get made into a film, which is pretty darn good. There's a couple of scenes in it that made me want to barf a bit, but it's good fun. So anyway, that's Grindhouse. Next up, we have Ready or Not, another film that I just really enjoy for all its daftness. There's a young bride called Grace, and she marries into a very wealthy family. And they have a tradition when one of their family gets married to have a game on wedding night. And Grace chooses hide and seek, but it turns out not to be a traditional game of hide and seek. It becomes a lot more violent. Again, that is all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil the film for you because it's not fair. Next one, from one of my my favourite franchise or series, depending on what you say, of all time, Ghostbusters Afterlife. After the god-awful 2016 Ghostbusters Answer the Call. When Afterlife got announced, I was like, oh, please, please, please don't mess the original timeline up. But then I found out it was being directed by Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, and that gave me a real glimmer of hope. And I went to see it on its opening day, and I was not disappointed. The original Ghostbusters, apart from Harold Ramis, bless his soul, are in it, but they kind of take more of a back seat in this one, obviously, because Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson are getting on a bit. No disrespect to them, because I think they're wonderful. And it gives more focus to Egon Spengler's daughter, Callie, and her two children called Trevor and Phoebe. Again, I'm not going to say too much in case there's anyone there who hasn't seen it, but there's a lovely, lovely tribute to Harold Ramis, which got me crying in the cinema. I had to wipe a few tears, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Paul Rudd as Mr. Gruberson is probably my favourite character. But again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But speaking of the Ghostbusters timeline, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is one of my other favourites. Didn't like it quite as much as Afterlife or as much as the original two, but I still really enjoyed it. There are some really, really funny characters in it. You get the return of Walter Peck, played by William Afton, who's now Mayor of New York and still an absolute bellend. But his cameo's really funny. The only downside, I would say, is the main villain, sort of ghost, isn't as memorable as Gozer or Vigo. Unfortunately, that's where the film kind of lets you down a bit. But it's still a cracking good film, and if you enjoy the originals and enjoyed Afterlife, I think you'll get some enjoyment out of Frozen Empire. Next up, we have VFW, which I actually watched when I got a month's free trial with Shudder, not expecting much. And to be fair, there wasn't a whole load of stuff on there that stood out for me, but I absolutely love VFW. It's about some guys who are veterans of foreign wars, hence the VFW, and they're just minding their own business in a veterans bar, and in comes a young lady who is being pursued. Again, and I know I keep saying this, I shall say no more, because that's all you need to know going in. It's got a brilliant cast. You've got George Wendt, him from Don't Breathe, Stephen Lang. There's Bill Sadler, who plays Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I just love William Sadler. Love his appearances in Tales from the Crypt, the series, and also in Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, the film. So that's VFW. Next one. Now I'm counting this as one because it was meant to be one film, and it's a continuation of exactly the same story, and it is Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, which is a good old revenge story. I do love a really good revenge film. There's a character called the Bride who, when she's getting married, she gets done over by her former colleagues, and she goes on a campaign of bloody revenge. In the unlikely event that people still haven't seen it, again, I'm going to leave it because you can't watch every single film all at the same time every day ever. So I kind of figured it's best to leave as much as I can out of it, but while still telling you roughly what the film's about. That's Kill Bill 1 and 2. Next up we have, and I am going to get so much shit for this, but I actually don't care. It is Jason X. And you're probably thinking, Alison. Jason X is a terrible film. And I agree with you. However, it's also very, very entertaining and was actually my gateway into the Friday the 13th series, because the only one I'd seen before that was Friday the 13th Part 3 on VHS, where you got the 3D glasses. I was about 14 and I was scared to death. Absolutely scared to death. But then Jason X came out when I was 21, I think, and I thought it looked so cheesy. My husband and I had to go to the pictures to see it. I watched it, then basically picked up the films as and where I could for the budget I had at the time. And I now am a huge fan of the entire series, despite being absolutely terrified of Part 3 when I was a kid. So yeah, that's Jason X. I'm sorry if you're all disappointed in me for choosing that, but I have to go by my enjoyment of a film, and I enjoy that film immensely. Anyway, next up. And last up, we have Rambo, the reboot that I believe came out in 2008. I didn't actually see it at the cinema, but my other half did, and he said, Alison, you'd really enjoy it. So I watched it, and Rambo is now living in, I think it's Vietnam. Is it Vietnam? Excuse me. Well, anyway, it don't matter anyway, but he very grudgingly takes some people into Burma for like a goodwill sort of visit, taking Bibles and other supplies to the community. And things kick off really badly from there. It's very violent. It really is. But thankfully, the majority of the violence is very quick and doesn't linger. There's one particular death which is so deserved, but it's gory as hell. But you can't feel sorry for the guy who it happens to, because he's such a piece of shit. He honestly is. But as per, I will leave it there and let you discover the wonders of it yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if I've rambled a bit. What do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. It's all about opinions. All I ask is that if someone posts an opinion that you disagree with, just do it with a bit of kindness. There's no need to be rude. There's no need to be nasty. I'm sure none of you would, because you all seem lovely, but it's just a little heads up, because I won't tolerate it on the channel. You know, we're all here to have fun. I want to keep my channel light-hearted and fun and let everyone just enjoy it. So thank you for watching. Hope you're all well, and hopefully I'll see you soon for a video. Take care.